Okay, this video we're going to talk about quadratic factoring. Uh, See, when you have something like this, it's the binomial. There are two items in there, and then a squared. What's going to be the answer? You know that when something is squared, the base is going to be multiplied by the number of the exponent. So x plus 8 times x plus 8. 2 times we multiply this. As you know that if let's talk first, finish this one. Okay, so we can write it this way. And if you expand it and write in a standard form, it's going to be, we say x times x, and then a times x plus a times x. There are 2a times x, and then this one is squared. This one is squared plus 2 times this one times this one. Now we're going to show it to you here. This one is squared. The first one is squared plus the second one is squared is 49, and then 2 times plus, has a plus sign here. 2 times this one is 14x. So actually the first one is squared and the second one is squared, and then 2 times this one times this one. This is the easiest way to find the answer for that. So every time you see something like this, you can write it this way. So give you another example. X plus 3 to the power of 2 is going to be what? Instead of multiplying this, if you want to write it in a expanded form, which is this one, and we are going to write it as a like factoring, multiplication. We do here is say, let's finish this one. If we multiply this, it's going to be x2, and then 3x, 3 times x is going to be 3x, and 3 is going to be 6x. Plus 6x, and then 9 plus 9. So if you want to write it like this, a standard form, factor form, or you can change these two. The reason I say that sometimes in algebra you wanted to simplify, like for example you have x2 plus 6x plus 9 and divided by x plus 3. We can write this one in a factor form, so we can cancel out this. Is x plus 3 times x plus 3, and then x plus 3 at the denominator. We can cancel this out. That's going to be x plus 3. So we used this one to simplify. We have to write it in a multiplication, so we can cancel. We cannot cancel this by this one. We have to write it in a factor form, so we can simplify that. So how about the rules for that? if you have, how about if you have a minus sign, here, x minus 2 for the same thing, x minus 3 to the power of 2. We say this time the rules is, if this one is minus between these two items, then this is going to be x minus minus these two times together, and it's going to be this, the sign is going to change minus 2ax. The only things change. So it means x, the first item x squared, the second plus the second item squared minus 2 times the first item times the second item. So the same thing, we use this one here to find this write it as a standard form. Say we square this one and then plus square the second one, which is 9, and then minus 2 times x times this one, means minus 6x. Okay, we can write it like this. It's easier. Instead of just multiplying, if you multiply x minus 3 times x minus 3, instead of doing this, you say, okay, this is going to be time this one, this time this one, and then the second item times the first item, and this the second item times the second item in the other parentheses. So we say x2 minus 3x here, minus 6x plus 9. See, actually we got the same. This is, if you write it in a order, and it's x plus 9. See, if we multiply this, we got this. But we could write it at the rules there, that this one follow the rules. The first item squared plus second item minus 2 times the first one times the second, if the minus there. If this one is plus, so if this one plus, that we say x plus a squared, that was x2 plus a squared plus 2ax. It was positive. The difference between these two is that the third item has a negative sign behind it. So we solve it like this. This is a. So we should find out we can write this one. It's is equal to x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay. Now let's see. So here we cannot say x plus a power of 2. It's like x squared plus a squared. No, that you have to write this, like this. I mean, this one is squared plus 2 times the first item times the second item. Now, if we have an equation, if we have mm, we have quadratic, you know. Like x2 plus x minus 6. You want to write it in a factor form. How do you do that? See, we got to say that if we multiply those two numbers, we are going to get 1. Because this is A plus B. There are two numbers. Two numbers. That A and B. If we add them, we are going to get this coefficient, and if we multiply, we are going to get this. A times B. This one is equal to 1. And A times B is equal to minus 6. Minus 6, okay? So, from this one you can find what is... See, what are those two numbers? What are those two numbers? That if we multiply it together, it's going to be minus 6. We have some option. It's going to be even minus 6 and plus 1. If you multiply minus 6 times 1, it's going to be minus 6. Or either vice versa, plus 6 minus 1, or minus 1 times plus 6. It's going to be the same answer. It's going to be minus 6 anyway, both of them. Minus 1 times plus 6. So either we have this one or we have 2 times 3. Minus 2 times 3. It's going to be minus 6. But we could also write the other way around. We say either it might be minus 3 times plus 2. It's going to be minus 6 again, you know, the same. You get the same result by changing the sign. So either it's going to be, see, if we add them, it's going to be 1. The sum of those numbers is going to be 1 here. So it's going to be something that the difference between these two numbers is only 1. Okay, but it's going to be plus 1. Plus 1. If we add it, it's going to be something like, it might be something like 2 numbers plus 3 minus 2. If you add them, it's going to be plus 1. If you multiply them, it's going to be 6. So then the answer is going to be minus 2 times 3, because if you add them, you're going to get 1, and if you multiply them, multiplication, you're going to get 6. So the answer for that, we say x plus 3 times x minus 2. This is going to be equal to this. If we multiply, we are going to get minus 6. If we multiply, it's going to be minus 6. Okay. And 1 added is going to be plus 3 minus 2. Plus 3 minus 2. If we add this, we're going to get 1. If we add those, we are going to get 1, and in multiply we are going to get 6. So this is going to be the answer. Minus 2 and minus 6, which multiplied, if you multiply plus 3 like this, minus 2 times plus 3 is going to be minus 6. So we can write this one as is equal to x plus 3 times x minus 2. Okay? So we got to, learn how to change it to a factor form, and how from this one, the standard form, change it to factor form, from factor form to standard form, from standard form. So let's get back to that example. So we have x plus 3 to the power of 2, what is going to be? So instead of multiplying x, it's going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3, and then you find it standard form. But there is another way to do that. We talked about it earlier, that we squared the first item, and then we squared the plus. The plus is going to be the plus the sign. Plus squared, the second one is going to be 9, and 2 times x times 3 is going to be 6x plus 6x, we should write it x2 plus 6x plus 9 in a standard form. This is quadratic. So suppose that this is, we say x minus 3 to the power of, we can write all kind of examples where so okay, now we have here, use the second one. This is a minus sign, x minus 2, x minus 2 to the power of 2. We say the only difference between these two, that is a plus sign there, is going to be plus the 2, multiplication of 2 times the first one times the second. And if minus, is going to, this one's going to be minus. So what we do here, we say x power of 2 plus 2 to the power of 2 is going to be 4, and 2 times this one is going to be minus 4x. So this is the same if you write it by the order of by the degree of x, is going to be like this. So you got to learn from this one, you can change to this one, and from here this form, which is x minus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, x minus 2 times minus 2. So every time they give you this one, you can write it like this. But what you do, it's you don't have this. From here, you're going to get to that. Suppose that we have this one. We are going to write it like this. They say, what are the two numbers that add together is going to be minus 4. There are two numbers, and you multiply it, it's going to get plus 4. So the two numbers that add together is going to be 2 and 2. It's going to be, we know that it's 2 and 2. What are the signs? So this is minus sign here. It's going to be a plus b, mean 2 plus 2 is going to be minus. So it's going to be both of them minus 2. Minus 2 plus minus 2 is going to be minus 4. And this is a plus. It's going to be minus 4. But if you multiply minus 2 times minus 2, you're going to get plus 4. So the addition is going to give you this answer, and this one, multiplication is going to get this one. So you can change. You said, hey, the answer we got is minus 2 and 2. Minus 2 and minus 2. So we write it here, x minus 2 times x minus 2. It's that easy. So let's get back to, let's talk about another things. If we have this one squared, x2 minus 9, how do we write it in a, in a form that is factored form? The factor form is, the general rule is that I squared minus b squared is going to be a منهای a منهای b that I plus b. We are going to find out why it's like this. So if we multiply this, we are going to get this. Let's do it. A2 plus AB, AB minus BA plus B2. Minus B2, I'm sorry, minus B times minus B2. See, AB minus A, see, it doesn't matter, it's multiplication. Either going to be, you write B times A or A times B. You know, it doesn't matter. Because it's multiplication. This is A, B. See, plus AB, minus AB is gone, so A minus B, A squared minus B squared is going to be the result of this multiplication, so which is going to be this. So here we can say that the first item x minus the second item, see, that is a square, and we have to get the square root of it. The square root of x is x to the power of 2. The square root of it is going to be x, and this one is going to be the second item is going to be 9. Okay, we can write like this. The first item minus the second item, the item is x a. We square root of those is going to be a square root of 9. It's going to be 3, and that is going to be x plus 3. So this is always, when you see something like that, always write like that. Another example, x2 minus 25. What will you write it? X minus 5 times x plus 5. Because these are very important points that that we are going to use that a lot. So this is x2 minus a2. We talked about this one, we talked about this one, now we talked about this one. what we said that is x minus a times x plus a. Okay? So we can write it like this. You know, for simplification, we have they say x minus 25 divided x plus 5. What do you, how do you simplify? You have to expand this one. You say x minus 5 times x plus 5, and then we have x plus 5 here. Since it's multiplication, we can cancel this out, and this, I'm sorry, not this one, this one, x plus 5. Cancel with this one, the answer is going to be x minus 5. So these two are very important. These two are very important to in math. These are very important. So we give you another example, like x2 y2 minus 81. It should be a minus 81, so you can use this one. It should be minus between those two. The square root of those is going to be xy minus the square root of 81 is going to be 9, and xy plus 9. That is going to be the answer. You know, we square square root of these the first item and the second item, the square root of the first item is y. What it means, xy2, if you want to find the result, this has two index, so x is going to come out because this cancels out, and y is going to come out of the radical. It's going to be xy. So this is it, and 81 is equal what? 9 to the power of 2. Okay, and the square root of that is going to be 9. So I want you to learn those two that are very important. You know, we are going to use that these terms, these techniques, and all these. You know, you got to learn both these three. You know. If x plus a to the power of 2, it's going to be the standard form this way, and this one, the standard form this one, and this one. So it's very very important. It's very important to learn this material, and we will get to those later.